Hey guys, so we're back right now with the LA New Wave. The LA New Wave is comprised of Hector and Allan, Mando, VGC, and H. Vargas. Go ahead and say hi to everybody, guys.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It is me, Allan, Mondo, BGC.
Hey guys, this is Hector.
So we're gonna go over the draft real quick. Um, you guys took Mew first overall, followed that up with the male Meowstic, then took Dracozolt, Hitmonlee, Tangrowth, Tentacruel, Tauros, the G-Max Colossal, Claydol, and Frostlass. We gave you a B plus on the synergy. We saw that you had a little bit of Firewater Grass core, but it wasn't that great. But the main thing was the Mew, the Meow Stick. You guys have a lot of things that kind of go together, even though if they don't have like the traditional stuff. Um, you guys have the Colossal G-Max next to the Tangrowth, the Frostlass next to the Tauros. Uh, you guys have just a lot of different options in general. To be able to just sweep through teams. So we gave you a B plus on the synergy. We would have bumped that up a little bit higher had we seen like a little bit better of a core, whether that be like the Steel Dragon Fairy core or the Firewater Grass core that we see. You do see that you have one, but it's just not so much of a defensive core rather than just like a straight get up and go.
Threat level, we raised you guys a little bit higher. You guys clearly had some huge threats on your team. Mew was always a threat, especially because you have no idea what it's gonna do. Dracozold it can just blow stuff up. Doesn't need any kind of setup or anything. It just comes in, Dynamaxes, and destroys your team. Your redirector also threatens sleep. That's pretty huge. Colossal, we all know what that does. It's a huge threat when you can get it set up safely. And you even have a couple of hidden gems in there, like the Frostless Tauros combination with the Frost Breath into Anger Point. You could even do some weakness policy stuff with Clear Body Tentacruel if you go with something like Bulldoze Tauros next to it. So you have a lot of stuff that's really threatening, a lot of stuff that really forces players to prepare for it. A lot of really threatening stuff on your draft. Overall, your draft order, we dropped you down to a B on that one. We thought the Meowstic pick was a little bit questionable. We thought that it was maybe something you could have gotten a little bit later in the draft. It does work well with what you have. But I think for me personally, I would have liked to see something like maybe a Lucario in that slot. Gives you a better fighting type than Hitmonlee, in my opinion. Plus, it also gives you redirection that doesn't get shut down by safety goggles or grass types. Um, and we also another main reason we dropped you down to B on your draft order was that you waited until round 8 to draft an A tier, and we kind of thought that it sort of felt to us like Colossal may have been a bit of an afterthought on your draft. We felt like if you had used those points to draft an A tier earlier in the draft, you could have gotten something maybe a little bit better, something an A tier that was a more integral part of your team that maybe wasn't quite so much of an afterthought. But we can talk about that too.
Yeah, but overall, your team grade came out to a B plus. The fact of the matter is, this team preview is terrifying. You have to prepare for so many things, and this isn't a team that you can just go. We'll just use last week's team. It's all good. We'll be all right. No, you have to prepare for very specific things, or you're just gonna get 6-0. So even if we may not have agreed with the draft process, or with the fact that like some of the core, like a lot of mons don't synergize with maybe their typings as well as you would like in a traditional draft setting, there's no way that you can't ignore some of the threats that are going to be coming out of this team. Like we're, I honestly think that you guys are going to have two or three threats constantly in the kill death ratio, in the top 10 of the kill death ratio, and it's going to be easy for you guys. It's not going to be something that you're going to have to work hard to do. It's just going to be like, we decided to sweep them with G-Max Colossal this week. We're going for the Drake result next week, and then the week after that, we just got Mew with a bunch of coverage. Like, that totally works, and you'll just very easily just have consistently top mons in the kill death sheet. So that's definitely something that we want to go ahead and say, like, right off the bat. Even though there were some questionable things that we thought, like the Meow Stick being taken with the second pick overall, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is the team's terrifying. So for the pros, we wanted to just go ahead and say, like, again, a lot of versatility, many modes with that. You guys have the Tang growth, so that way you can start launching off these fast sun stuff. You guys have the that you can put next to the Dracozolt, so you can redirect some ground type attacks, which it resists. Has good defenses because a lot of these ground type attacks are going to want to put into it are going to be physical. So you have that. You have the Colossal and the Tentacruel. That's a good mode that people have to prepare for. You have to prepare for the Frostlass Tauros stuff too, because Tauros, when it's Dynamax, it gets really good coverage. It's really, really fast. Like, people underestimate it, especially when it's with the 2x bulk. It's really bulky too, so it can sweep through teams if you just like, they won't bring Tauros. It's gonna have Intimidate, maybe do some weird stuff like that. Like, no, it'll sweep you. So you have to prepare for all of that, and I think that's the most terrifying thing. And then on top of that, you have Meowstick, which is like honestly just a Swiss knife, a Swiss Army knife, I want to say, of just like what it could do. You can Thunderwave stuff. You can set up manual terrain. You can, there's just endless possibilities with Meowstick next to a lot of these mons that just makes everything so powerful. So we gave you or I'm sorry, just a lot of versatility with many modes. And then, well balanced offensive types. Granted, while we said that the defensive core might not be that great, the coverage that you guys have and you guys can get is so good that there's not going to be a lot of teams out there. There's not going to be any teams, I don't think, that you can go, oh man, they just wall us. We can't find a way to break through X, Y, or Z. It's like, we just lead this, and we just plow through it. So you guys have a lot of balanced offensive types to where you can throw stuff out and not get like just walled by a specific typing because you have that coverage just all over the place.
Yeah. You also have the ability to, I think, you can pretty easily have a big offensive and defensive presence on the field at the same time, especially with the mons that I think you're looking to Dynamax. Colossal obviously has big defenses. It's got some weaknesses in its typing, but it's very bulky. Mew obviously base 100s across the board. It can set up offensively or defensively. Even Dracozolt next to some dual screens, something like that. I think you have a lot of options for particularly Dynamax Pokemon that are putting out a huge amount of offense while also simultaneously uh, particularly hard to take down, even compared to a lot of other Dynamax Pokemon in the format or in the draft. Um, and like we said, some of these modes that you guys have are they're so powerful that if you get one of these setups off, like the Colossal, or if you just bring in Dracozolt at a time when your opponents are not ready for it and you just start blowing things up, there's a lot of potential to just run over an entire team without maybe even without losing a mon. Maybe you go for like a 4-0 5-0 at some point, but I think you're I would not be surprised to see a lot of your matches end with you still having quite a few mons on your side of the field. As for cons, Meowstick, we talked about that a little bit. We also want to ask you about that in a minute, but redirection, we felt your redirection was a little bit weak just because you don't have Follow Me, you only have Rage Powder, um, which Rage Powder is still incredibly powerful. But one of the concerns that I would have if this was my draft was is that some like self hitting strategies might you might not really be able to stop them. You do have Fake Out with Mew and Meowstick and Hitmonlee, so that might be something that you're able to take care of those strategies with. But redirection is typically the best answer to self weakness policy activation or beat up justified stuff. If that beat up mon just throws some safety goggles on it, it can just ignore that rage powder and beat up its partner no problem. So that's something I would be a little concerned with if this were my draft. The Firewater Grass Core, we did mention you do have one, but it doesn't seem like it's. I think Tangrowth is solid. Tentacruel seems all right. Colossal, it doesn't seem like it's a piece of a defensive core as much as other fire types like let's say Arcanine or Incineroar might be. Colossal, you kind of lead with it. It does its thing. It stays on the field and it blows stuff up. It's not something that you're going to be switching around for defensive switching. It's not really like that. So it's a bit of an awkward kind of defensive Firewater Grass Core. Um, and then the Colossal, like I mentioned when we were going over your draft order grade, it seemed like a little bit of an afterthought. It does. I mean, one of the strengths of Colossal is that it forces your opponents to prep for it. Um, but it didn't really, because you drafted it so late, it didn't really seem like something you were building around. It seemed like a bit of an afterthought.
So just a couple things that we wanted to ask you guys real quick regarding the report card itself. The first one, obviously, I'll go ahead and direct this question to you, Allan. Uh, why the Meow Stick in the second round? Uh, was there any particular reason for that? We felt that you can get something earlier. Maybe you can justify.
Yeah. So in terms of picture Pokemon, there's Pokemon like Grimmsnarl, Liepard, Sableye. I would say the closest Pokemon that gets as many moves as Meowstic does would be Grimmsnarl, but I felt that Grimmsnarl was a little too expensive. So I felt like we wanted to go Meowstic for sure, and we wanted to make sure that we took it as soon as possible because we were our ideas kind of like um, had us coming back to Meowstic. It has a lot of moves that it can get. It has fake tears. It has dual screens, Thunder Wave, Charm. All these cool attacks that it's able to support the team with. And Mon like that was pretty important to us. So we just wanted to make sure that we snagged it because we didn't want it to get sniped since it was a crucial piece to our draft. And yeah, we just didn't want it to get sniped at all.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Um, so just real quick too, uh, what was the reason that you guys didn't end up getting any other redirection besides the Tangrowth? We noticed that you didn't really get any type of follow me users or anything like that. Was it just because it stuff kind of fell or didn't fall as far as you thought? What was the reason behind that?
I think part of it didn't fall as far as we thought. Really, the last chances that we had to grab any follow me would have been Wartortle or Squirtle, and even those got taken. Um, so part of our decision for that was, I mean, that's basically what we wound out to. But I think Wartortle would have been our best bet as far as a follow me user. We could have gone Togepi too, but then Togepi kind of seems like it would be dead in the water as far as if redirection is the only thing we were trying.
Yeah,
Can be, yeah. Togepi also got taken too.
yeah. So pretty much.
Togetic and then Togekid, basically all the good follow me users.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
And we kind of thought the same thing about. I think Togepi and Squirtle were on the same level. I feel like they'd be dead in the water if they got left alone, or if all we needed them was for redirection. So I kind of feel like a wasted slot.
That totally makes sense. And the Tangrowth, in my opinion, pound for pound, is the best Rage Powder user in this format. My reasoning for that is, the fact that it is B tier, it's fast, it has Sleep Powder, and it's not an S tier that you like an Amoongus that you have to spend a lot of points on, a
Yeah.
Butterfree that you have to spend A tier points on, and they're both they. Amoongus kind of is a little bit one dimensional, not so much, but it works in Trick Room, and Butterfree's really frail. And Tangrowth has a lot of bulk. It has chlorophyll. It has sleep powder. It has the rage powder, obviously, like we said. Just in general, I think pound for pound, you guys, if you were gonna go with no follow me user, I really do think that the Tangrowth was the way to go there. Let's see. Any other questions you had?
The only other thing I think I'm wondering about, two things actually. The first one being Tentacruel. I'm kind of curious about what drove you to pick that. It seems like kind of an odd pick. It's definitely fast, got good special defense. Other than that, I don't. It seems kind of maybe a little bit mediocre to me. That might be a little too harsh. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Tentacruel?
Allan or Matt? Sorry, or Allan or Hector? Doesn't matter.
Allan.
In terms of Tentacruel, well, it has a couple of things that it can go for. It has haze. It has different menus that it can go for. We had a particular strategy in mind. We won't share that with you guys though.
That's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a water type. The first pick for a water type that we had in mind got taken, so we had to fall back on something else.
Makes sense.
And I felt like Tentacruel would have been has potential. Sorry, uh, has certain things that it can go for. Has icy wind. The water coverage was pretty huge in my opinion.
Right.
We just wanted to round out like our fire, water, grass core, have something going, and
And
yeah, I mean I would kind of agree that it would be like a questionable pick. I can see the reasoning for it, but I think we are able to make it work.
Yeah, definitely.
And the last piece of that fire water grass core, we talked about Colossal. We thought Colossal was like we said a bit of an afterthought. Um, what uh, what drove you to pick Colossal, and why did you wait so long to make that A tier pick?
Let's go ahead and get Hector on this one.
I think we did kind of pick late in with the Colossal, and I think we definitely could have drafted it in the Meowstic slot, but I don't think we were looking at that many A tiers
Mm.
um, at the beginning. I think we went Dracozolt, and then we kind of tried to build everything around it, and then we started noticing that a bunch of A tiers started getting taken. So I think the Colossal was definitely a like kind of like a filler spot, and I mean I guess depending on the team, we'll have to see what we can do with it.
I'd also like to add that even though it might be like a filler slot, I think Gmax Colossal commands respect.
Yes.
it does,
If
yeah.
you try, if you're prepping for this team and you don't prep for Colossal, we can just bring in Colossal and potentially pull off a 6-0.
Mhm.
You have to be prepared for it.
Yes.
So there's also that.
No, I was just gonna say that for a filler pick, quote unquote, that is a hell of a filler pick. It is a threatening mon that you just throw on your roster, and it's like, oh geez, we have to prep for this. Like so, even if it's an afterthought, that's it. And you didn't build around it so much, it still feels like it has a solid place there, and it's something that you do have to prep for. So we will definitely give you props on that. And then back to you guys. Was there anything that you guys felt that you maybe wanted to push back on our analysis, or kind of have anything to say that maybe we were unfair to you on, or anything like that? Anything?
I mean, the only thing I could think of was the Meowstic
Mhm.
comment, but I mean, we already discussed that. I think Meowstic has the tools needed to support the team.
Yeah.
It's an integral part of the team,
Yeah.
honestly.
And honestly,
So
hearing that from you now, it makes total sense on why you guys took it that high. if you guys had it in your draft as something that you thought was the backbone of supporting your entire team, you're right. Why wait on getting that taken out and just be like, great. Well, there's everything. That's the cement that we were hoping that was going to hold our house together. So I totally get like, let's just cut the BS. Let's go in. Let's grab it. We got it, and we'll go from there. So that's good reasoning to me. It's going to be dangerous in your guys' hands. This team is going to be dangerous in your guys' hands, and honestly, we fully expect that you guys are going to be in the playoffs and contending for the championship this year. So, you know, do you guys have any other questions, anything like that?
Nothing from me. I think, I mean, everything as far as pros and cons were a little spot on. I think I would agree with Allan with the Meowstic comment, but I think everything else, redirection, the water fire grass core, and the colossal were kind of spot on as far as cons for the team, but we'll have to see how we can make that work.
Yeah, and I trust definitely that you guys are going to be able to make that work. All right, well, thanks again. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. We good luck to you guys in the league. We're in the same division, so we will be going against each other. I believe that's week 8.
I don't remember.
Don't remember either. It's terrible.
Yes.
But it's going to be a good one. Can't wait. Going to be a lot of trash talk on both of our ends. So, we're really excited for that one. But we really think you guys are going to be playoff team this year. So, good luck this year, guys. And coming up after this, we're going to have the Russian Assets. We're going to be talking about their team with them. All right, guys. See you later. Thanks for coming around.